statement?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, the message in the team meeting this morning was that, you know, I'm not focused on game day. I'm focused on today, right? And the Deacs win today, right? And for guys in a bunch of different situations, you know, it was really just a lot of move the ball. Some guys that did some good things. Obviously, I think the quarterbacks made some solid decisions, but we turned it over at times. Defense, you know, got to win first down a little bit more, but it was a good start to the day and look forward to watching the tape.
You said, I think it was Tuesday, you said you wanted to see more vocality.
Yeah.
Pick up on that today?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I mean, just especially some of those older guys, you know, scrimmages, like, it can be long. You're out here for 2.5 hours. I think it was 99 plays or something like that. And just kind of the identity of this team. I think I get caught in the same trap as some of the other coaches, comparing where we are now to where we finished last year. Like, I just got to remind ourselves, after scrimmage one, last year it was raining, I watched it this morning, we couldn't move the ball, we couldn't throw a vertical pass, we're busting everywhere on defense. Like, you know, like, just remind ourselves, building a team takes time, and we can't keep comparing it to last year. It's where this team's at, and I think we're in a good place.
Is it in this day and age of immediate eligibility for transfers, has it never been more easier to turn the page?
Well, yeah, and I couldn't be a bigger fan of the January portal window, right? To have these guys here, to invest in these guys, to know who's going to be here in the fall. We got to find some other things to shift around, but I love that, and I love the mentality of where we're at. Lots of learns, nowhere close to where we need to be, but I like where we're at so far.
Jake, what do you see from Ty Clark off the field? I know what he can do on the field. He didn't play a lot today.
He didn't play a lot today just because we know a little bit what he is, and we got to see those other four guys. You know, Ty means a lot to this football team. You know, I think he's a tremendous leader in his own right. We're still kind of getting him out of that shell and don't walk back by some leadership opportunities. But he is a 1A tailback. I believe that. I'm really trusting in that kid, and he's going to give us a lot of different things. Now, Sawyer Seidel showed his speed today. Love it. Deuce Lawrence got a little ankle after 2 phenomenal runs. You know, there were some really good things at that running back position, and Ty's the leader, so they embody what he does, and he's a great example.
But Ty sees that. There's some competition. It's not like
Ty knows the urgency of what's needed, and I think that's good at every position. You know, Gio didn't just take all the ones. You know, Steele did. You know, so there's a balance at every position where competition is good, and we'll keep solidifying this team as we go.
Coach, speaking of Gio, how is he doing here in week 3?
I'll tell you what, I've just been so impressed with his pocket management. You know, I've been around a couple really, really good ones. How he sits in there, and we got to firm up the pocket. That's probably the number one thing on offense that we got to get better at in the bull rush, and our defense is doing a good job. But him delivering, finding routes, even at the end there, he's talking to freshman Dom Berry about, you know, off of the screen and go, he's got to extend it. Like, he's a learner of the game. He can communicate the game, you know, and I'm still working with him to, like, he's got to be the gas pedal at all times. So our team's got to go as he goes. The offensive line, the heartbeat, but he's the one that presses go. So still getting him into those situations, but love where he's at. Love the command that he has at the offense.
You mentioned that bull rush. Obviously, bad news off of the line. Good news, Tyler Walton. It seems like he's ascending even more and more. He's coming on for him.
Yeah, easy on the praise. You know what I mean? Ty's breaking through those ceilings. You know, I think as players and as individuals, we naturally have those breaking points. Last year, he'd hit it and it would just go down. Now he's hitting it and he's staying in the fight. He's doing stuff when he's tired. He's pushing through, and he's playing through power. It's amazing, like, understanding who you are as a performer, and we've gotten Ty to play through that power. Now what happens? Your speed rush works, right? Your speed to power works. Your counterbalance works, right? So Ty's one of those guys that's doing some really, really positive things. And Langston isn't even out there yet, and Gabe was limited today. So another guy, Cam Hardy. I think Cam Hardy's starting to play the way I think he's capable of playing. So excited about that DM group as well.
With that depth, you also have it looks like in the defensive backfield. I think Woods, Tron Blackwell made a couple plays today. What are you seeing out of these young guys? How much does that help take the pressure off of Deshaun Tongue and Devon Patterson?
Yeah, I mean, I think our young guys are super athletic. I think we've done a really good job of just getting really dynamic players, not caring about how big they are. Jerron's a guy, the game's starting to slow down for him. You know, the freshmen, everything's going so fast, and it should be. I met with all the freshmen yesterday just to calm them down, you know, but we're going to need them all. You know, Micah Bright's been an athletic bright spot. AJ Mark's been an athletic bright spot. Jerron's been good. Cordell had a little bit better day today. We got to get him fine-tuned on some, you know, technique stuff. Terp's really confident in the player he is right now, and obviously Rue's back commanding the ship. So some positive competition at all those spots. And you know, last year proved. I mean, Rue's rolling, all of a sudden he goes down, Braylon's got to step up. So developing depth, especially in the spring, is important.
What's the main thing you've taken away, from year one into year two for you?
You guys get to know me. I'm not satisfied with much. I just in a constant state. Are we doing enough? Are we physical enough? Where's the team at? What mentality are we in? I think we can be a more athletic football team. What does that really mean as a football coach? Nothing. Right? It's the execution that matters. It's the toughness in the big moments. It's getting them situationally aware and challenged. But I think we're so much farther along. I'll give our coaches credit in that. But that's a player thing. Just keep driving that. But even in recruiting, we're so much farther, and we're in a whole different place. And I've said this many times: Wake Forest can be a football program. I've said it before. I'll say it again. We established ourselves last season, and excited about where our program can go. And I'll do a little PSA. We got to keep pushing. You can't be satisfied ever. As soon as you get satisfied, you get your ass beat. Right? And that's his players. That's his coaches. That's his fans. That's his boosters. Every phase of it. So we're off and running to a high capacity right now. So excited about where we're going.
Jack Foley.
Yeah, Jack's gained a lot of confidence ever since the bowl game. And I think we put him in some scripted situations. Hey, let's take some shots to Jack, see where he's at, and we'll need him to be a big body receiver. And he hasn't made those plays up to this point. So really good in live situations. I don't care who it's against. He went out there and made some plays.
In addition to Jack Foley, it looked like some other receivers like Cam Shanks, Wadamy Davis. What do you like about the versatility of what you have at receiver?
Bingo, you hit that word, versatility. I think dynamics in different roles. Right now through 7 practices, we're really just on base stuff. Now the challenge to the offense will be, okay, how does Cam Shanks need to catch the ball? How do we need to use Wadamy Davis in a vertical route? How can Chase Tyler be a big body outside guy? And how we can shape it around their skill sets. I said it before, it took us too long to identify that last year. So excited about the diversity of the group. Carlos Hernandez, his confidence is so much better than it was a year ago. I know he didn't do a lot today, but through 6 practices, he's been fantastic. So how do we do that? In 20, Elijah Otieno, a little bulldog, a little pit bull. Love what that kid's doing right now. So I don't want to single out guys, but I'm happy with where that group's at. But how are we going to tighten the specificity of how we're going to use those guys? It's a big word for me. Yeah.
That's good.
Everybody good?
All right.
Thanks, Coach. Go Brewers.
Brewers, you're off.
And that's what we want to see. A lot of new faces in there. Offensive line felt like they competed. They're going against a pretty good D-line. And I think we made some plays in the passing game. So it was good to see.
Something like the halfway point to right now. What did you see in Gio? Where did we need to step forward, and what did you like?
Well, just continue to grow. Obviously, we have a lot of new players, but he's not really new to the offense. So he's done a really good job of elevating the players around him, breathing confidence into them. He practices, even though as a quarterback you don't get hit, he practices the right way, plays it like a game. So continue to elevate people around himself. And then there's things here and there, obviously, that he's got to clean up, but just more of the same.
With a guy like Gio, obviously there was a year break in between happening in South Alabama and here. Obviously expectations are higher when you have a bold quarterback. Even higher when you have a guy like him that knows a lot of what your system is going to be at this point.
Yeah, maybe, but he's a very humble kid. He comes from a really good household. He was raised the right way, so he doesn't let clutter, and expectations affect him. So, I'm not worried about that. I think he just, he's going to do his thing. Like I was saying earlier, just continue to improve on what he needs to improve on and continue to elevate players around him. So it's awesome to have him.
And wide receiver, interchangeable parts happen everywhere. Carlos will play inside out, couple of good slot receivers, you get Chase or Jack in the field. how exciting is it to have all those options, and how much of a challenge is it to find out the best combinations of what's going to get the offense going?
Well, yeah, it's a good problem to have. But it's been great. You know, I think obviously you're working many units that you can in spring, and it's been great just to see them all out there. Obviously, you're wide receiver. You're competing against the DBs every day, but you're also competing against one another. You know, and so it's been awesome to see the competition in that room, and then, you know, not being in your competitive silo, you've seen them like when one of their teams, because we got a lot of new guys, but when a guy makes a play, everybody being excited for that guy. So, you know, like the direction that room is headed in. I think Coach Roberts has done a fantastic job with them, and just got to continue to improve.
You guys all set? Okay.
Right on, man.
Good name. What's the adjustment been like coming from obviously UAB to Arkansas now as coach?
The adjustment's been good. They really brought me in as a family for real. I really like it here. They speed things up. They make sure like we are as one and stuff like that.
How do you feel like on the field the adjustment is?
On the field, I feel like it's kind of the same to me because they kind of run the same offense. So I'm still in the same playbook. And we're just out there playing for real.
What do you like so far about Gio, Steele, your connection with the quarterbacks? How do you feel like that's about?
They communicate with you. Like if you make a missed throw or something, they come right up to you, talking to you, seeing what we can do to get better and connecting with you.
Where do you think everyone can grow in the next 2 to 3 weeks?
Exactly.
Where do you think everyone can grow?
In every aspect, just being able to grow, just getting better at everything, catching in classroom, playbook, learning plays, growing in every aspect.
Who's been the toughest guy that's covered you so far?
I'd say Z, number 17. He get me on some routes. I ain't beat him on. I'm still trying to beat him on some routes, but we go at it for sure. He get me an idea, him.
Biggest difference between living in Arkansas and living in Winston-Salem?
It's a city in Winston-Salem. Being in Arkansas, it's like a lot of field, trees, farms and stuff. But down here, you get something to see.
Did you consider yourself more of a city kid?
Oh, for sure.
Anything else, guys?
Now recovered from having a club on your hand, what was playing through that like? How do you feel now?
Yeah, playing with the club was definitely frustrating. Something you never want to deal with, especially starting the season off that way. Felt like it took a bit to get going, but I feel like as the season went on, I was able to play a lot better. And, I don't know. Sometimes those things happen. You just got to work through, and I felt like it ended up being all right. So,
How many times did you, in the course of the game, wish that you actually had the ability to grab somebody with that hand?
too many times. I'd be really frustrated, especially trying to work my power and stuff. I couldn't get to the long arms and stuff that I wanted to, especially games like NC State. Some of those ones you really want, some of that stuff. That's kind of one of my gifts is my hands, and it was really frustrating to not be able to do that sometimes.
It was just on like a random PBU out here, like a mat down?
Yeah, I hit my hand. Actually, I think I hit it before, and then I blocked the ball with the same hand. And so it was probably like broke, and then I hit the ball, and then it was like, I don't know which one it was that broke it, because it just happened, but yeah.
And if I remember correctly, you left here and then like doubled back, came back like 20 minutes later. Was it still bothering you?
Oh yeah. So I went and got an X-ray. I knew what it was. Tried to come back, support the team for the rest of the practice. It didn't really hurt, honestly. It didn't hurt at all, surprisingly. It was more just I was frustrated by the circumstance, but it is what it is. You learn and grow from it. So.
You go from the portal world, you go from being a freshman last year to being one of the more experienced leaders now. What does that role look like for you, and how have you transitioned to being a leader for guys like Cam Harden, for guys like Tyler Warren?
Yeah, I think I've really tried to step into that role along with Langston, and we have some good guys in our room that we feel like we can really lead the defense and bring a lot of experience, snaps, and all the above. I think like I've really enjoyed being able to help get the younger guys, Cade and some of these guys that we brought in. really just building them up and making our floor really like way higher than it would be. So I feel like I've been really thankful and blessed to be able to share some of my experience.
What's it like in year 2 outside?
Yeah. So this is I was with Banks before, and it was similar. So that's kind of the reason I really wanted to come here too, was that defensive style. So this is almost year 3. It's really similar for me in this defense, and I really enjoy it. I think I can play really fast, along with everyone else. We're able to play really fast, and it be confusing for offenses. And I really love the coaches and what we're able to do with the defense.
What do you think of the first scrimmage today with that defense? What do you think of the overall energy out there? It seemed like there was a lot of positive energy from the defense.
Yeah, I thought there was great energy. You know, we're trying to bring it early. Start fast is a big thing that we are trying to emphasize, and we emphasized last year as well. Because it's really important to start fast, get out there, bring energy. I feel like we had a lot of guys making plays, and even the guys that are hurt, you know, everyone's bringing that same energy to the team, and it's really important to emphasize that. So we've been doing that.
How's Langston's coaching ability?
It's pretty good. It's great. Me and him work a lot. I talk to him all the time. We'll be doing one-on-ones. I'm like, hey, like, what did you feel on this? It's been really great because, you know, he has a lot of experience as well. And so him and me have been really working through things, how he can get better right now. You know what I mean? Just continuing to do things. So, yeah.
I imagine that keeps him engaged too, not being able to be out there with you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Hopefully mental reps are just as important as getting the physical reps, and he really does that. He's been a great leader for our room, and has really helped me grow into a better player. So I'm really thankful to be by him.
Anything else, guys? All right, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Gio, how was the first practice?
First scrimmage?
Yeah, first scrimmage.
I got you. I got you. First scrimmage was really good. I think we got to see a lot of growth from guys, transfers that came in, young guys stepping up. It was fun to see Gannon and Grant ripping around. It was fun to watch those guys. So I think we had a really good first scrimmage. Of course, we're going to come back, watch film, learn from the mistakes. But I think all in all, it was a good first scrimmage.
How are you feeling with the offense? Obviously, you know it very well, but how are you feeling here?
I feel really comfortable in the offense. It's the old offense I used to play at South Alabama. A couple different like names of stuff, but it's the same stuff. So I feel good just being able to help those younger guys or guys that transferred in, being able to help them with the offense and put them in the right situation. So I feel really good.
Dicker told us a couple days ago that he wants to hear more vocality, but more yelling, basically. Where do you factor into that as a quarterback? Because the quarterback is a natural leader, but I don't know if that comes naturally to you.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think for me, like, you got to be a leader. You got to be loud as a quarterback. You got to be able to communicate with your guys. Learn everybody. How does this guy communicate? How do you need to talk to this guy? How do you need to talk to this guy? You got to know those things. But I also think being honest with yourself, like, how am I as a leader? You can't fake it. People's gonna know when it's fake. So like for me, just making sure I'm being vocal, being a leader, but also understanding that like I can't have fake dreams. It's gonna be obvious. So just communicating the way I communicate, which I think I do well with the guys. Just making sure I'm being true to myself and being a communicator. That's that point.
Real juice, not fake.
Real juice, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
How's it feel just to be back with Coach Ezell?
I think it's awesome. Being back with Coach Ezell, you know, just of course on the field, being back with him, understand that he's a yeller, understand he's a very interesting guy. Y'all get to know him. But also just off the field, you know, being able to see him in the office, walk past him, he starts talking noise, you know how he is. Brings up an old memory of South Alabama, stuff like that. I think it's just fun to be back with Coach Ezell and to be with the offense coordinator I really enjoy playing for.
What did you try to? You have a chip on your shoulder in a way. Just kind of how things happen at your last time.
You want to say that, right? Like, I want to say I have a chip on my shoulder, but for me, I'm not on social media. I don't really see any of that stuff. So for me, I think just being able to keep playing football. You know, like of course I have a chip. I want to win a lot of games. I want to play good football. I want to prove the haters wrong, right? But for me, I think just winning games is more than enough. I don't got to prove it to anybody. If we have another 1-0 in the box for the win column, then it doesn't matter to me what my stats say. So I think just winning games for me, that's all I care about.
Yeah. You're the only guy on the whole team that's not on social media.
I think probably, yeah. I don't have social media at all. Yeah, I feel bad for my teammates, like, they didn't follow me back on Instagram. I'm like, guys, I don't have it. Like, it makes me want to get back on it just so I can follow them. Like, I feel bad. I tell them, I was like, I'll get it back on it one day and I'll follow all y'all back. I'm sorry. Promise it's not me being facetious or nothing.
When did you make that choice? Was that last year? Was that...
Yeah, I haven't had it since before the TCU game. Thank God. But yeah, I haven't had it since before then. I deleted it right before the game. Just to get off social media, there's a lot of noise going on, and we felt like we had all the eyes on us for that. We felt like it for that particular game for us. So just for me, just to make sure I'm not, listening to outside noise and just locked into what my principles are, just not worried about anything else.
How does that play into Dicker's built in the dark kind of mantra? Everything's supposed to be happening out in the field, not on
Coach Dicker says like built in the dark. We've had a meeting. He'll be like, one of the social media guys. I'm like, I'm not even on it, coach. But I think just for me, I think the built in the dark thing is a really good statement that we need to live by. And of course, we have our social media team to do an awesome job, man, making us have cool pictures and all that stuff. But I think just making sure that we're showing up every day and not showing up for external reasons, showing up for internal reasons, and making sure we want to show up and be better players all in all.
Talk about those internal reasons. It's your second year in Zell's offense now. Your third, fourth year in college. What are your own expectations about yourself at this stage?
You want to have those expectations. I got 2 years left eligibility. You start wanting to push the, what can I do to get to the NFL, right? That's how I'm not trying to think at all. For me, I'm just, how can I be a great teammate? How can I be a great leader? If you win games, people are going to look at that at the end of the day. So if I'm winning games and if I'm making players around me better, if I'm able to help guys around us, be better players and better people off the field. I told the young guys this, like Brandon Gannon, I said, if I walk away from college football and y'all learn something from me, then I feel like I did a good job. So if I'm able to help those guys out and just be a good leader and be able to leave a mark on somebody's life, that's a good thing to me.
Who's faster, you, Gannon, or Steele?
So Gannon's not even in the race. I'd say Steele has you by a step, but Steele's also 160 pounds. But I'm right behind him. Steele isn't fast though. Steele can roll.
That's good. All right, thanks, Joe.
I appreciate y'all.